Hey, how you doing, bro? What's your name again, bro? Huh? Pablo. Okay, all right, Pablo. So I've been listening to you over here, right? So you said that you had no fear of God, right? You don't believe in God. So let me ask you something. You was walking with a brother who was walking down the street. Are you like in affiliation or anything like that? All right, so when looking at you, you had that vape in your hands, all right? So what the brother was going over with you, he was going over your nationality and that you need to keep God's commandments. But what you got to understand here, give me Psalms chapter 14, verse 1. You are putting yourself in a detriment because you say you're trying to stay out of trouble. That's what he mentioned earlier. You want to stay out of trouble, right? Right? But if you going what he said, you not keeping the commandments, you putting yourself in trouble, and you going more on that thought when you say that you don't believe in God. Read Psalms chapter 14, verse 1. Because you want to start doing stuff to keep you out of trouble. Because the system is set up for us to be in jail or be dead. Do you agree with that? You probably got people that you know that's probably done died. You probably got people that you know that's probably in jail. So you know that the system's set up for us to fail, but you saying that you believe in it, not believing in God and have no fear of him, that's going to put you in the same cycle as your friends that you know that died or in jail right now. So read this.
Psalms chapter 14 and verse 1. The fool have said in his heart, there is no God.
So it says the fool says in his mind that there's no God. Only a fool would think that a man who created the heavens and earth and the things that go on a database on why people die strangely. There's a lot of people that stray bullets kill little kids, or you could be walking on the street, randomly you get shot down. Or you get pulled over by the police and now you're in jail, right? A fool says in his mind that there is no God, knowing that there's about to be World War III and there's nuclear bombs set on for us, knowing that there has been a system set up for us to fail. And you will walk around every day like everything is cool. Like you don't have to worry about nothing. I see you got the vape. Do you know what those vapes do to you when you smoke vapes? What do they do to you? And then what ultimately happens to you? You die. You die. That is a foolish thing to do, to keep smoking on something that you know is going to kill you. Right. Do you understand that the reason why you do that is probably you going through the stress or pain that you know in your day-to-day life? The experiences that you're going up with, you probably live in through the struggle. I can look at you. I know because I lived in the struggle. I know what it's like to live in the struggle. And that smoking that vape is not going to take that pain away. Right. You saying that God doesn't exist is not going to take that pain away. Right. You got to come back to the knowledge of God and understand that you are Israelite. And the only way that you're going to be able to cope with the pain that you're going through is by keeping God's commandments. You can't sit here and say every day that you don't have no fear of God or fear of life because you think there's nothing better for you. God has something so much better for you, but you got to get out of that mindset of believing that there's no God. It says it again. Read from the top.
Psalms chapter 14 and verse 1. The fool have said in his heart, there is no God.
So Pablo, I don't think that you're a fool. I think that you have some wits and some smarts to you. But you can't be moving and thinking like a fool that's saying that there's no God and there's no reason for me to fear him. Because when you get put to death, randomly, you got to understand that that comes from God. He is the one that can be able to put you to death. So you should fear him. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. This is why you should fear him, because he's the one that's going to be the one to get you set up and get put to death. When you walk around these streets, you get a random stray bullet, somebody look at you and they know of your affiliations and they say, I know where he's from, and then now they're killing you. That's because God set it up that way. You need to fear God because he has the power to do that to you. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 39. See now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me.
God said he is he. There's nobody else with them that can be able to do the good or the evil that goes on in your life. He controls everything in your life. The man that has the one string to be able to cut your strings and end it for you, that's who you should be fearing. You should take that into mind, right? Read.
I kill.
The Lord kills. The Lord can be the reason why you don't make it run to the corner store. The Lord can be the reason why you don't make that back with your homeboy who you was walking with. He could be the reason why you get put to death. So it's a foolish thing to say that the man who has the power to take your life in an instant that he does not exist or you don't have any fear towards him. That's what we come out to tell you, that you need to keep God's commandments because your life depends on it.
That's right.
Do you care about living? You don't care about living. And that's the problem with our people there. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse, no assurance for thy life. right? 66. Because that's the thing that we go through on a daily basis. And that's why you're smoking that vape. We think our life is so much to the end that we don't even care about living. We've been through so much in our lives that it's like, fuck it. It doesn't matter anymore. I could just walk around today. If I die, I die. That's the type of mindset we have because we have been destroyed as a people. But you got to come back and understand that you are the greatest thing God ever created on this earth. You have a purpose for living. You should not have the mindset of thinking that your life is worthless because your life is valuable. Read.
Right. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 66. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
So that's what God's saying. That is a curse. That mental state that you have in that mental thought, that is a curse from God, saying that you will have no assurance for your life, or you don't even care to have assurance for your life because of the destruction and the curse that God put on us for not keeping his commandments. You probably grew up in poverty. I grew up in poverty. I know what it's like to not know when the next meal gonna come. I know what it's like to be asking myself, like, why do we go through this? They're good. My friends are getting killed. My friends and my family's going to jail. That is something that we think about on a daily basis, but we don't know we are the reason why these things happening is because we choose to break God's laws, statutes, and commandments. And Pablo, it's time for you to come back and recognize that your value and your worth means more than anything on the face of the earth. You should not have that mindset to think that your life has no value. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. Because he told you were an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar, right? Right. So there's value and there's purpose behind that name. You're not just a regular person, Pablo. You are the greatest thing God created on the earth, and you need to start thinking like that. You need to see value within yourself and value in your life. And that's how you can be able to go ahead and get back on track to be able to where you can be able to see and be able to be a benefit to yourself and to your people. Right. Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people.
So God said, you, Pablo, you are a holy person. You are a separate person from every person made on the earth. Right. You, Pablo, God separated you. There's value in that because God said so. Read.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
So God chose you, Pablo, to be a special person. You have value to your life. You should not be thinking that there's no reason for living. You should care if you live or die. Because if you die on this earth with not believing in God, don't think that this is it. There's a second death for you where you're going to be burning forever. Right. You don't think that just because you die on this earth that it's over for you, that your pain will stop. No, there's going to be an eternal flame that you're burning in forever. This is not the end. So you need to see value in your life today to see how special God said you are so you can start living like it. And when you start living like it, that's when you're going to start keeping the commandments and see the better person that God sees in you. God sees more than you, and you need to start seeing that in yourself. You shouldn't look at yourself like as you just another statistic. You're not a gangbanger, you're not a Mexican, you're not a Latino, you're not worthless. You have value to your life. And it's time to start thinking like that. Right. And it's time to start for you to keep the commandments. No more walking around with vapes in your mouth, smoking the whole day because you want to get and cope over your pain. No more smoking weed or drinking all day with the homies. That shit's not going to help you cope your pain. Right. So you're going to die on earth and then you're going to die in a lake of fire. Meaning there's going to be a fire and you in it and you're continually to burn and you'll never die. Right out. You will never die. You will continue to burn and you will feel that excruciating pain. But you can avoid that by starting to keep God's commandments and seeing value in your life today. You can be able to save your life today. That way you can have eternal life. You can have eternal life and rulership over the world where you don't have to worry about struggling from day to day, worrying about your homies getting shot down in the street, or worrying about the police harassing you or putting you in jail, or worrying about where you're going to get your next meal. You don't have to worry about that in the kingdom of heaven, but it starts on how you work on yourself today. Read that again, Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6.
I'm going to say,
for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself,
above all people that are on the face of the earth.
And the end point of that, Pablo, he said, he chose you, he made you special, and he said for you to be above all people upon the face of the earth.
Right.
That's your purpose.
Right.
That's why you were created. There's value in your life, and you need to start seeing that value in yourself. Stop thinking that your life is worthless. You mean something to the Most High, and you need to start walking and treating yourself as so.
That's right.
You need to start getting with like-minded people so they can build you up and see that in you. I know what it's like to have low self-esteem, to not think of yourself as highly or something. But it's time for you to get around people who can be able to build you up. You don't need to be around people telling you that we ain't shit, because you are more than what that is. You are the greatest people upon the face of earth, Pablo. And you need to start fearing God, because if you don't, you're going to continue to live a foolish life of a gangbanger or a wannabe thug who's going to get killed and shot down in the streets, and then you're going to die again and burn forever.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.